Have you ever felt that sudden tightening in your chest? The moment when something shifts, a shadow lengthens, a sound sharpens, or a situation changes just enough to make your body brace before your mind understands why. This cluster explores those moments when safety feels uncertain, when our instincts awaken and our inner world prepares for what might come next. These are the emotions that surface when we feel unsafe: the alertness, the trembling, the vigilance, the instinct to retreat, protect, or disappear. Welcome to the Heart's Compass, a journey through the landscapes of human emotion. When we feel unsafe, our emotions move quickly, shaped by our past experiences, our nervous system, and the deep human need to survive and belong. This cluster explores the feelings that rise when our sense of security is shaken: the alertness of fear, the raw exposure of vulnerability, the charged intensity of excitement, the tightening spiral of anxiety, the heaviness of dread, and the isolating ache of loneliness. Some emotions in this cluster appear elsewhere in the compass, but they take on a different shape here, because how we feel shifts when safety is in question. Fear, the instinctive alarm that signals danger, heightening our senses and preparing us to act. Vulnerability, the exposed, unguarded feeling that arises when we sense we cannot protect ourselves from harm. Excitement, the charged activation that mirrors fear's intensity, blurring the line between anticipation and threat. Anxiety, the restless tension that anticipates what might go wrong, keeping us alert even when no clear danger is present. Dread, the heavy, sinking awareness that something painful or frightening may be approaching, even if we cannot name it. Loneliness, the isolating ache that emerges when we feel unprotected, unseen, or disconnected from the people who help us feel safe. Here, emotion is not just reaction, it's protection. These experiences reveal how we scan for danger, how we prepare for uncertainty, and how we navigate the fragile space between threat and resilience. Fear. Fear arrives as a jolt, a quick tightening in the chest, a sharp inhale, a sudden alertness that snaps your attention to what feels uncertain or threatening. It's the moment something shifts in your environment or inside your body, when a sound sharpens, a shadow lengthens, or a thought flashes with enough force to make you brace. It doesn't ask permission, it activates, it heightens your senses, accelerates your heartbeat, and pulls your awareness toward whatever might be dangerous, real, or imagined. Fear is the feeling that says, something might hurt me, I need to be ready. Fear is the instinctive alarm that signals potential danger, preparing your body to protect itself through heightened awareness, quickened reactions, and focused attention. It emerges when your nervous system detects a threat, physical, emotional, or relational, even before your mind has fully understood what's happening. Fear simplifies the world, narrowing your focus to what feels risky and pushing everything else into the background. At its core, fear is the emotion that says, my safety is uncertain and I must respond. Fear is the spark that ignites your survival system, the ancient signal that something in your world requires caution, distance, or action. It is the emotional surge that sharpens your senses, quickens your breath, and prepares your muscles to move before you've had time to think. Where anxiety spirals and dread sinks, fear awakens, immediate, focused, and urgent. It is the moment when your body reacts faster than your thoughts, when instinct takes the lead, when the world feels suddenly louder, closer, or more intense. Fear can distort your perception, making small risks feel large, neutral cues feel threatening, or uncertainty feel like danger. It can make you retreat, freeze, or lash out, not because you are weak, but because your body is trying to keep you alive. And yet, beneath this activation lies a deeper truth. Fear often emerges not only in the presence of danger, but in the presence of vulnerability, when something you value feels at risk. It is the emotion that reveals what matters most to you, what you long to protect, and where your boundaries feel fragile. Fear becomes wisdom when we learn to listen to what it's trying to protect. It becomes clarity when we distinguish between real danger and imagined threat. And it becomes strength when we allow it to guide us without letting it control us. May we learn to meet fear with steadiness, not by suppressing it, but by understanding the message beneath its urgency. For beneath every moment of fear lies a desire for safety, stability, and survival, a desire that becomes more powerful when paired with awareness, grounding, and courage. Vulnerability. Vulnerability arrives as an opening, a softening in the chest, a loosening of the guard, a quiet awareness that something tender is now visible. It's the moment you feel exposed, uncertain, or emotionally unshielded, when the truth inside you feels too honest to hide and too delicate to fully reveal. It doesn't surge like fear or harden like defensiveness. It reveals. It creates a rawness that invites connection and risk in the same breath, whispering, "This is who I am, and I hope it's safe to be seen." Vulnerability is the feeling that says, "I am open, and I cannot control what happens next." Vulnerability is the emotional experience of being exposed, of allowing your inner world to be visible without guarantees of how it will be received. It emerges when you share something true, admit something difficult, or step into uncertainty without armor. Vulnerability simplifies the moment by stripping away pretense, leaving only the honest, unguarded parts of yourself available to be met with care or with harm. At its core, vulnerability is the emotion that says, "I am taking a risk by being real." Vulnerability is the trembling openness that appears when the heart steps forward without protection. It is the emotional doorway through which intimacy, trust, and authenticity enter, and the same doorway through which rejection, misunderstanding, or hurt can pass. Where defensiveness shields and insecurity doubts, vulnerability reveals, offering the truth of who we are without the safety of certainty. It is the moment when your voice shakes as you speak, when your hands tremble as you share, when your truth feels too precious to hold alone. Vulnerability widens the world, inviting connection where distance once lived, inviting honesty where silence once settled. It can feel terrifying because it asks you to release control, to let others see the parts of you that feel unfinished, imperfect, or in need. And yet beneath this raw exposure lies a deeper truth. Vulnerability is not weakness, but courage, the willingness to be seen without guarantees, to show up without armor, to trust that your truth is worthy of space. It is the emotion that reveals your humanity, not as something fragile, but as something profoundly alive. Vulnerability becomes strength when we recognize the courage it takes to be open. It becomes clarity when we understand what truth we are trying to share. And it becomes connection when we allow others to meet us with care, understanding, or presence. May we learn to meet vulnerability with gentleness, not as something to hide, but as something to honor, protect, and respect within ourselves. For beneath every moment of vulnerability lies a longing to be known, accepted, and held in our full humanity. A longing that becomes more powerful when paired with honesty and compassion. Excitement. Excitement arrives as a spike, a sudden rush of energy that shoots through the body faster than you can understand or control. It's the moment when your system lights up in response to intensity, unpredictability, or the sense that something is about to happen, even if you're not sure it's good. It doesn't feel steady or joyful. It feels sharp, fast, and hard to contain. It creates an internal alertness that whispers, "Stay ready, things could change in an instant." Excitement is the feeling that says, "I'm activated, and I don't know if I'm safe." Excitement in unsafe moments is the emotional activation that emerges when your nervous system senses intensity and prepares you to react. It arises when the environment feels unpredictable, when stimulation is high, or when your body can't tell the difference between opportunity and threat. Excitement simplifies the moment by flooding you with energy, narrowing your focus and pushing you into readiness, At its core, this form of excitement is the emotion that says, something is happening and I need to be alert. Excitement is the electric charge that runs through you when your system is on edge, the same physiological spark that fuels fear, but pointed toward intensity rather than danger. It is the emotional quickening that happens when the unknown feels volatile, when your senses sharpen, when your body prepares for movement before your mind understands why. Where fear braces and anxiety tightens, this kind of excitement accelerates, pushing you forward, heightening your awareness, making everything feel urgent. It is the moment when your heart races, when your breath shortens, when your thoughts speed up as your body tries to get ahead of whatever might come next. Excitement can feel unstable, overwhelming, or disorienting, not because you're overreacting, but because your system is trying to protect you in a situation that feels unpredictable. It can make you jump too quickly, misread signals, or lean into intensity because it feels safer than stillness. And yet, beneath this activation lies a deeper truth. This form of excitement often emerges where safety has been uncertain, where vigilance has been necessary, where your body learned that staying energized is a way to stay alive. It is the emotion that reveals your readiness to respond, even when you wish you could rest. Excitement becomes clarity when we recognize it as a signal of activation, not a promise of joy. It becomes grounding when we learn to slow down, breathe, and separate intensity from danger. And it becomes safety when we understand that our body is trying to protect us, not overwhelm us. May we learn to meet this form of excitement with steadiness, not by shutting it down, but by helping it settle. For beneath every moment of unsafe excitement lies a longing for stability, predictability, and calm, a longing that becomes more powerful when paired with awareness, grounding, and care. Anxiety. Anxiety arrives as a tightening, a quick flutter in the chest, a restless buzz beneath the skin, a sense that something is off even if you can't name what it is. It's the moment your mind jumps ahead, scanning possibilities, imagining outcomes, preparing for what might go wrong before anything has actually happened. It doesn't strike like fear or collapse like dread. It churns. It creates a tension that loops through your thoughts and coils through your body, whispering, "Be careful, be ready. Something could go wrong." Anxiety is the feeling that says, "I must stay alert, just in case." Anxiety is the emotional anticipation of potential threat, the restless vigilance that prepares you for danger that may or may not exist. It emerges when uncertainty feels risky, when the future feels unpredictable, or when your nervous system is primed to expect harm. Anxiety simplifies the moment by narrowing your attention to what could go wrong, amplifying small concerns into larger possibilities. At its core, anxiety is the emotion that says, "I don't feel safe, even if I can't explain why." Anxiety is the hum of unease that rises when your mind races ahead of the present moment. It is the emotional echo of past fears, old patterns, or unresolved tension, replaying themselves as warnings about what might come next. Where fear reacts to what is happening and dread sinks under what feels inevitable, anxiety anticipates, filling the space between now and later with imagined danger. It is the moment when your breath shortens, when your thoughts loop, when your body prepares for impact without knowing where it might come from. Anxiety can distort your perception, making neutral moments feel charged, silence feel threatening, and uncertainty feel like a sign of impending harm. It can make you overthink, overprepare, or overprotect, not because you lack trust, but because your system is trying to keep you safe. And yet, beneath this tension lies a deeper truth. Anxiety often emerges where you care deeply, where you fear loss, where you long for stability, or where your past has taught you to be cautious. It is the emotion that reveals your desire for control, predictability, and reassurance, a desire rooted in the need to feel secure. Anxiety becomes insight when we learn to listen to what it is trying to protect. It becomes clarity when we separate possibility from probability, fear from fact. And it becomes resilience when we meet its tension with grounding rather than avoidance. May we learn to meet anxiety with compassion, not as a flaw, but as a signal that something in us needs steadiness, safety, or support. For beneath every moment of anxiety lies a longing for certainty, comfort, and calm, a longing that becomes more powerful when paired with presence, patience, and care. Dread. Dread arrives as a sinking, a slow heaviness in the stomach, a tightening in the throat, a quiet sense that something painful or frightening is approaching. It's the moment your body reacts before your mind has the words, when a shadow of anticipation settles in and refuses to move. It doesn't jolt like fear or churn like anxiety. It weighs. It creates a dense stillness that pulls you inward, whispering, "Something is coming, and I don't know if I can face it." Dread is the feeling that says, "I sense danger ahead, even if I can't see it." Dread is the emotional awareness of an anticipated threat, the heavy, sinking feeling that something difficult, painful, or overwhelming may be on its way. It emerges when the future feels unavoidable, when uncertainty feels ominous, or when past experiences teach your body to brace for impact. Dread simplifies the moment by narrowing your focus to what feels inevitable, making possibilities feel like certainties and discomfort feel like destiny. At its core, dread is the emotion that says, "I fear what's coming, and I don't know how to stop it." Dread is the slow-moving shadow that stretches across your inner world when something feels wrong, even if you cannot name what it is. It is the emotional gravity that pulls your energy downward, making every movement feel heavier, every thought feel darker, every breath feel tighter. Where fear reacts to immediate danger, and anxiety anticipates possibilities, dread anticipates inevitability, the sense that something unwanted is already on its way. It is the moment when your body braces, your mind quiets, and your instincts prepare for impact long before anything has happened. Dread can distort time, making the future feel closer, the present feel smaller, and the unknown feel threatening. It can make you withdraw, hesitate, or freeze, not because you lack courage, but because your system is trying to protect you from what feels unavoidable. And yet, beneath this heaviness lies a deeper truth. Dread often emerges where you feel powerless, where you've been hurt before, or where you fear losing something important. It is the emotion that reveals your longing for safety, predictability, and control, a longing rooted in the desire to avoid pain. Dread becomes insight when we recognize what part of us is bracing for impact. It becomes clarity when we understand the story our body is telling about what might happen next. And it becomes resilience when we learn to meet its heaviness with grounding rather than avoidance. May we learn to meet dread with compassion, not as a sign of weakness, but as a signal that something in us needs steadiness, reassurance, or support. For beneath every moment of dread lies a desire for protection, certainty, and relief, a desire that becomes more powerful when paired with presence, patience, and care. Loneliness. Loneliness arrives as an ache, a hollowing in the chest, a quiet heaviness behind the ribs, a sense of being separate even when others are near. It's the moment you realize no one is close enough to understand what you're carrying, when connection feels distant and your voice feels unheard. It doesn't jolt like fear or churn like anxiety. It lingers. It creates a stillness that feels too wide, a silence that feels too loud, whispering, "I am here alone, and no one can reach me." Loneliness is the feeling that says, "I am unheld in a world that feels too big." Loneliness is the emotional experience of disconnection, the sense that you are without the support, understanding, or closeness you need to feel safe and seen. It emerges when relationships feel out of reach, when belonging feels uncertain, or when your inner world feels too heavy to share. Loneliness simplifies the moment by convincing you that you are separate, unseen, or forgotten, even when connection may still be possible. At its core, loneliness is the emotion that says, "I need someone, and I don't know where to find them." Loneliness is the quiet echo that fills the spaces where connection once lived. It is the emotional distance that stretches between you and the world, making every step feel heavier, every moment feel quieter, every thought feel more fragile. Where fear alerts and dread sinks, loneliness empties, leaving you with the ache of wanting closeness without knowing how to reach for it. It is the moment when you sit with your own thoughts and feel the absence of another presence, when your heart reaches outward and finds no one waiting. Loneliness can distort your sense of worth, making you believe you are too much, not enough, or somehow unworthy of the connection you crave. It can make you withdraw, hesitate, or hide, not because you don't want closeness, but because you fear the pain of reaching and not being met. And yet, beneath this ache lies a deeper truth. Loneliness often emerges where your longing for connection is strongest, where your heart is open, where your need for belonging is real and human. It is the emotion that reveals your capacity for closeness, your desire for companionship, and your deep need to be understood. Loneliness becomes insight when we recognize the longing beneath its ache. It becomes clarity when we understand what kind of connection we are missing and why it matters. And it becomes healing when we allow ourselves to reach out, to be seen, or to let others come closer. May we learn to meet loneliness with compassion, not as a flaw, but as a signal that something in us needs warmth, presence, or companionship. For beneath every moment of loneliness lies a desire to belong, to be held, and to feel connected, a desire that becomes more powerful when paired with courage, openness, and care. When we feel unsafe, our emotions become signals of what our bodies are trying to protect. Fear sharpens our senses. Vulnerability reveals our tenderness. Excitement shows how activation can blur into alarm. Anxiety highlights the stories we tell ourselves about what might happen. Dread exposes the weight of what we fear we cannot stop. And loneliness reminds us how deeply safety is tied to connection. Together, these emotions show that safety is not just physical. It is emotional, relational, and deeply internal. They remind us that our nervous system is always listening, always responding, always trying to keep us alive. As this cluster closes, may we carry forward the wisdom to honor our instincts without being ruled by them, to seek connection when fear isolates us, and to recognize that safety grows not only from protection, but from presence. For it is in the moments when we feel unsafe that our courage is revealed, the quiet strength of finding steadiness in a world that does not always offer it.